Hello, everyone. Welcome to Ties.
Hello, welcome to the first episode of Ties, where we share our IB experiences. We are a group of 4 IB students, and today I'm with my co-hosts Ada, Selen, and Tona.
And we have our honor guests, Ada and Egemen. How are you guys?
We're fine, thank you for having us. I think we're so excited to be here.
Yep, totally.
Okay, so let's start. Our first question is, have you been able to settle into the routine yet, or does it still feel a bit overwhelming? So it's your second year in IB, and
How do you feel?
Well,
yes.
personally, I believe that it is quite different from the first year, as the workload is a lot more harsh and we have a lot more workload, and we need to, 1, prepare for our works, 2, complete our CAS, 3, there is also the extended essay and just so on, internal assessments and everything. I believe that this year is a lot harder. What do you think?
I think it's overwhelming in general. Like last year, it was also difficult as well, but the works we had weren't graded by IB examiners, so I think it was a bit more chill. But this year, it's a bit more stressful because the work we do will actually be graded by
Yes,
IB
and it's
examiners.
a
last
lot more
year.
scary.
It's the last year. We only have a year, for example, like currently the 12th graders in our school,
Yes.
they're taking their IB exams. So it's going to be us next year, which is, I think, quite stressful. And I don't feel like I have gotten the routine that I want. Like when you say IB student to me, there's an image of an IB student, and I don't think I match with that profile. But yeah.
You'll get used to it.
Yeah.
I think we're running out of time.
We're all going through the same stuff. Balancing CAS, homeworks, and everything else is pretty intense. I just started my CAS project too, and it has been a challenge finding time. And what about you guys? What are your projects?
Well, for CAS projects, I have planned out a few stuff. We're probably going to do the Earth Hour with everybody anyway, since when I asked our teachers, they said that the number of students we have is already enough, so everybody's just going to be
It
contributing.
was
anyway.
really good. It was the best
Yeah,
project.
yes,
Last
yeah.
year's
That
one,
was
I was
really fun.
I was going
Yeah.
to join, but I couldn't join.
Which
so
one
this
was-
year I'm going
So
to.
I
Sorry.
couldn't join it. Did you?
It was. I
And this
joined.
year, you guys should also join.
I
Yeah.
will.
Which
I will.
one?
Yes.
This
The
year,
Earth
Earth
Hour.
Hour.
Earth Hour.
Yes.
Yeah, it was really fun.
But you should really bring a lot of coats because like we were
So
freezing.
cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not going to stay at school. Like, I will leave when it's like 12.
Okay. Like Cinderella. With pumpkin. Yeah, so I think it's a bit the CAS projects I did. So we painted a primary school that was for disabled students in that specific primary school. We were able to paint that in according to their favor. So we like drew like little animals, we drew the seasons, and it was really fun because there were two like people who were older than us were there as well. Like one grade older IB students were there as well.
Your painting is really good. Like I see the
Yes.
photos, and if I was a child, I wanted to see that paintings on my wall as well.
And you know, it was like a thing that IB students did. It was really like the
Yes.
IB. We really had the IB
Soul.
spirit because like
Spirit.
I was in the group that went early on, and we were kind of planning what should we do with the walls and how we could plan it out. And so while we were planning, I was able to like interact with other IB students that are older than us. And you know, in normally in high school, it's a bit harder to interact with people from older grades or like younger grades, but IB really, I think, brings all of the students together.
Yeah.
yeah.
Also, like, you never fail to amaze me. Like, you're so...
Thank you. You guys never fail to amaze me.
Like,
as well.
Ada says that she doesn't match the IB profile, but actually she's the IB profile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
She's just so humble that she doesn't like to admit it, but yeah. Also, like, she's also great at art or like also
She's
in
good
music.
at everything.
Yes.
Oh, thank
She's
I
also
love that.
like I'm not saying her because she's a friend,
Totally.
but like she really is the like best person, and she's also like really funny and kind. So yeah, I think
Yeah. Like when I'm talking to the teachers, they're always say always telling about the activities that Ada do. Like whenever there's a MEN at school, Ada is there. Whenever there's a project.
Prime example.
Yes, she's a prime example.
Yeah.
But you know, I still like have a hard time managing my time, and you know, like sometimes my subconscious mind doesn't want to do the work, and I just find myself looking to my phone. So,
Wow.
you know,
That
like,
happens
it's
a lot.
really
Yes,
hard.
All of us are like
all of
that.
us do that.
Yes.
So
So
I think
like,
you're
I don't
going.
have that inner strength to just not
The
not
sheer
watch.
determination.
Yeah. And like, for example, I finished a series. Like I watched How I Met Your Mother again. Like just from this year, just from the start of this year. Like with the end of the summer, I finished Modern Family. I started watching How I Met Your Mother. I'm currently watching Criminal Minds, and like I watched another series in between. So like I'm like yes, I'm trying to like manage my time, but at the same time, like my
Distract.
yes, I'm quite distracted.
It
as
seems
well.
you're managing well though, because like you're able to finish those series
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
still
but-
get so many good grades.
I think
I don't see
Ada
the
is going
problem.
too hard on herself.
No,
Yeah.
but you know, like it usually happens like this. Like it's the end, like the deadline is in the midnight, and
The
I
adrenaline
find
rush.
myself in the computer trying to finish it before the classroom hits the
Happens a
deadline.
lot.
So yeah,
I couldn't see Ada like for at our break time. She's always go to like teachers.
yeah, I am
IAs.
trying to do IAs. You know,
So yeah, our IA progress started. What are you doing, guys?
Also,
So-
we have a film portfolio assignment.
Oh god,
Egemen.
yeah.
yeah. So can I start or
You
okay.
can start it.
So for my biology IA, which I'm currently doing, and that's why I was a bit late.
Yes, she was late to our like first episode of Ties, which is like really important.
Yes,
And we
I-
are planning for this like for weeks, and
yeah, that's on my part. But like, so what I'm basically trying to do is I'm going to be doing a bioplastic based on cornstarch, and then I will plant it on plant it on soil and look through if the bioplastic is actually good for plant growth or if it negatively affects the plant growth, which is I think really interesting because as a society we're kind of shifting our consumption of plastic to other options like bioplastic, but we should also be asking ourselves, is bioplastic really something good? Or so I this is kind of like my research.
What about your other IAs, like business? You started your business IA?
Business, yeah, we did our first draft. So what I'm doing is there's a company called GBS, and they kind of like they bought another small company called Biotech Foods, which is a like biotechnology company that makes cultivated meat. So I'm kind of trying to combine. I'm investigating how this acquisition influences the profit. Not the profits exactly, but how it benefits GBS as a company.
What about you?
let's talk about the film portfolio.
After all of
Egemen.
those, I kind of feel like I didn't do much, but like for film portfolio and just overall, the film students have already completed their IAs. Thankfully, last year we had our
we
textual
submitted our,
analysis.
like textual
Yeah,
analysis.
we submitted
to
it.
IB.
Which movie did you do on?
I think it was Cinema Paradiso. It was
Yeah, me neither. I did
yeah,
it.
you recommended me that movie.
it was quite fun, yeah.
It was
And
really great.
so for that at least the IA workload is a lot less for me, but the film portfolio thing is quite burdensome as we got a lot of stuff to do since there are 3 different ones that we need to complete. In the
Yeah.
first role, I think we're almost done. Tomorrow one of my friends is going to come over to my place and we're gonna shoot the final scene. And we're just gonna have the editing left, and I think after
Paperwork.
that, yeah, the paperwork. Oh god, the
And
paperwork.
it's just the first one. We are going to do 2 more. Like me, Egemen, and Selan are all of our lessons are the same.
stacked.
And
We're just doing the
We're
same.
always at the same class.
And me and Tuana also has another class.
Yeah,
But,
like-
what's Selen and Irmak? What is your like movie that you're doing? Like I saw some of the shoots that you were doing in the
In
school
film
canteen.
portfolio.
Yeah.
Oh, the
No.
remake, the
Oh,
remake.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a remake.
Yeah,
Oh,
we're
you have
doing
a lot of
remakes as well.
Different assignments.
Like they're also going to
Yeah.
in the film portfolio. With, like we
The
have
first
to
portfolio role.
recreate a film scene that we chose, and our is No Country for Old Men, the coin toss scene.
Yeah. I saw that.
We are working on that, but Egemen's
Which movie are you doing?
I'm doing Her, which is kind of like a sci-fi film. We took like 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Like
yeah, I know that film. Joker,
really?
Joker. The man who plays Joker acts in it.
I think so. I
Yeah.
didn't check the cast really. Like I checked the main cast, but
There's
I'm
an
not-
AI in the computer and
Yes,
the man's talking.
yep. There's
Yeah.
Scarlett Johansson actually.
Yeah, I think Sofia Coppola, the director, married a guy, and then after they broke up, Sofia Coppola made Lost in Translation, and I don't know the guy's name, and he made her. So it's kind of like their breakup film. That's what. But I'm not sure.
God.
You guys have to double check that.
You know more of my film than I do.
What's your role in the like?
My role is sound design. I'm implementing the notification sounds, the intimate sounds. So I worked a lot on
Also AI sound, like the woman
Yeah,
talking?
of course. We recorded that actually yesterday with Nissan. So the main focus that I had was to create an intimate audio, because the conversation that they have with the AI is first, like, we kind of get like the main character is kind of lonely and stuff. So with like the emptiness of the room and then just how intimate the scene is, we wanted to implement that. So I tried to get their tones as clear as possible, and there is not much echo, since I also added like a background noise type of thing as well, like an atmosphere noise. We're working on that. I'm probably gonna add a few more stuff, and at least the film portfolio one will be done with the paperwork.
Like everyone thinks film is like a easy lesson. We are just
Well, I
watching
think it's an
movies.
easy lesson.
It's not.
It
There is
looks
a lot
easy.
of
It's-
assignments.
no, I think
like
it's
the lesson in totally might be like
In my opinion, it's fun, so it kind of gets the
Balance
yeah,
is
it balances it out. The burdensome part just gets
Well, I
nullified.
think
It's
digital
more
society is hard. Like
definitely.
harder. Definitely harder.
is
Chemistry,
hard.
yes.
But that,
Oh.
I understand that film is hard, but are doing double diplomas. So we're doing IB, and we're also trying to do our own school's diploma.
Yeah,
program.
national.
That's why the film students don't have to take an exam, while the other students, like who take
only
chemistry.
one extra
is the-
exam.
Yeah.
But it's hard.
Although, in my opinion,
And
your
also, it's
artistic
your
knowledge is
HL
quite
lessons.
good.
Yeah,
and
Why
that's-
didn't you choose film?
I like that's kind of my regret. I think film is really cool, and I really wish that I took film. It's really interesting. I know it's a bit harder to get a good grade, because like you cannot just study or like solve past papers. You have to actually like do stuff, and it has to
You
be
need
good.
to be
and
creative.
yeah, you
like,
need to be creative, and I think we were talking with you, Irmak, that it had to be like shop a bit professionally. Like you
Yes.
cannot
Yes.
just use your phones to get a good grade. But I think it's really cool that you guys are learning a lot about films, because like that really makes you a more intellectual person.
Even though we're not recommended to, we're still using our
Oh
phones.
yeah. Like,
Yes.
Okay, so talking about chemistry, I heard from a lot of my friends that chemistry is a very hard subject in the IB. So, Ada, how is your
God.
chemistry IA going?
On my chemistry, I am looking at the rate of reaction of hydrogen peroxide when manganese dioxide.
don't steal
catalysis
Ada's
is used.
ideas.
Don't steal my ideas.
Trademark.
So yeah, this
That's
is trademark.
plagiarism, guys.
Copyright.
But yeah, I will be looking at how it changed the activation energy. Basically, it's a bit more difficult, but I don't want to bore you with the like details and how I will be doing. I actually am SL. I'm taking standard level chemistry, but the like calculation thing, I will be using an HL topic. So Twana, you might help me on that. Yeah.
So first,
Twana takes HL chemistry.
yeah, I
guys.
take HL chemistry, and first I need to start my IA. Mine is not approved yet. Next Monday I will start to my biology IA and to my biology extended essay, but I don't know when to start the chemistry IA because it is a bit complex. Like I will use a water bath while making a titration, so it is quite hard, I guess. Like I'm not so sure how to make the experiment, so I don't start it yet. But if I learn when I learn the calculations, I can help you.
Thank you, Twana.
For sure.
Yeah.
Again,
But-
what are things? Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Tell.
And the thing, hard part is I think the getting the data part, like writing is not hard, but you know, like it's been like 2 months since school opened, and like I've been going to the chemistry lab and trying to take
It's already been 2
for
months.
like over
Yeah.
the course of 2 months, because I like did it in a different concentration. I changed the concentration, and so you really have to do some pre-trials in order
Yeah.
to perfect your experiment. Right now, my data is like it's going good, so I'm quite happy. But like my hands are hurting because so we put a cork in the Erlenmeyer flask. And I put in temperature probes and pressure probe. And the temperature probe, there's a gap between the cork and the temperature probe. And I'm literally holding it with like a dough that I made, so that the gas won't leak and the pressure won't change. But like I think that I cannot no longer use my hands, because like it's 3 minutes of constantly holding it, like my life
Stable.
depends on it.
Oof.
So the exam week is starting. What are you guys thinking? Our first exam is chemistry. What are you thinking? What is your first exam?
I would not like to talk about that, but like I believe that at least for the film students, I think we have the general like exam stuff a lot more easier, since we don't have a film exam.
Again, like how is your ESS lessons going? Because we have the
ESS.
same class, and
Also,
did you start
ESS
your IA?
exams, I think Monday, like not
The
this
fir-
month, second month.
The second month.
Second.
Yeah, so for my ESS IA, I've not started it yet because we're
Yeah, same.
we have to we have to get like some specific data down, because I couldn't choose the pot yet for like the right amount of salinity. So we're gonna talk with my teacher, and we're just gonna lock it down, and then I'm just gonna start probably in the break right after the exam.
Are you going to do like experiment?
Yeah, it's
Well,
about
I think
like
doing an experiment is the best thing
Yeah, also
to do
our
in
like
IA.
teacher says that.
Yes,
Yeah,
because
doing
it's
like
easier to
experiments
write
make you
and you
have
get more points.
Yeah.
You
And
make-
what are you doing on your digital society?
Well, I am doing like well in digital society, but I am kind of behind. I forget to do some
You'll catch up.
assignments. So, Sam.
Okay, so how was your guys' 2K exhibition?
all right, the exhibition we just completed it last week, right? It was last week.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was last week.
Yeah, so I believe that preparing for it was like the writing part, and like choosing your prompt was definitely the hardest part. if you ask me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Totally agree. I think I chose a more challenging prompt because I wanted the challenge, but I totally regret it. I chose a prompt. How might the context in which knowledge is presented influence whether it is accepted or not? I'm not proud of my decision. I think if I have a recommendation for our listeners who are going through this IB process, I think you should choose a more simpler, more like
The ones about material
easy
tools.
material tools, the
Mhm,
ones that
the
are more
23.
obvious,
Yeah,
the ones
the
that have more
23.
obvious answers. And another key
23.
thing I would say that I think was a really challenge for me, just because you put some knowledge in front of something, or just because my prompt had context, just because you say that context of knowledge of blah blah, it doesn't make it a knowledge. So make sure that when you say knowledge, it is just a clear knowledge that the reader could quickly connect the links between the prompt and the context. So yeah, that would be my recommendation. And I don't think I will have a really good grade. I think my practice exhibitions were a bit better. But
I
like
read
this.
yours. It was
Yours were
pretty
amazing.
good.
You were asking our teacher whether you should use the.
Yes, because
like
I was
you were
in the
choosing
sciences,
between two
but
paragraphs.
my
You wrote
perspective.
two different
No.
exhibitions.
But it's because the perspective didn't fit in right. Like you should make sure that you have 3 clear answers to your prompt that are different.
I think it's
perspectives.
just Ada being too hard on
But
herself
no,
again.
Yeah,
Edas was really good. Like I read Edas and I was like, oh my god, these were like the sample exhibitions that they made.
Well,
us
I
read.
think
Okay.
mine is not very good because I feel like I keep repeating the same thing. So
No,
It
I
was
read it.
good.
It was really good. And the thing is, I think schools have different systems. Like our school has exam weeks, but other schools in IB, like in other
May not.
countries especially, will not, because they don't get double diplomas. Or the way our school does COK is a bit different. So like when you're listening, you might be thinking that there are some different things between your school and ours. It's just because our school does it a bit differently, and your school probably does it a
Yes.
bit differently. And yeah, that was with TOK as well. Like not the writing part, but the exhibiting part, like the presentation part was a bit different.
I think that one of the main things that you guys need to focus on is like while writing the second and third paragraphs, people usually rewrite their ideas in second and third, getting them confused. Just ask your perspectives question, just write back onto the
And the thing is, usually, like, TOK, IB doesn't make it mandatory to write 3 paragraphs. It's our school's thing.
It's our school's thing. But always answering it with your perspective, since you're giving 3 perspectives, at least for us it was like that. You definitely should be like always thinking of the answer you give and writing it based off of that.
Okay, so
We have some short answer questions.
yes.
All right.
Okay, so our first question is, do you prefer Turkey or CAS?
Yes, I think.
Okay.
Yes, I did.
What?
Why?
I think TOK is really good and it broadens your perspective,
It
but
is
CAS pushes you
stressful.
to do new things.
Yeah.
And it was like and I felt, especially while doing the service part, I was able to go to another school and like observe like kids, or like going through and painting them, or like doing MUNs. So I think the service part is really good because I am able to engage with our community, and I'm also able to like help people's life, even though it's a small touch.
Fair point, but still, at least in my opinion, it's a
Yeah.
lot less confusing for me, at least for TOK.
Yeah.
So I like TOK a little more just because of that.
Okay. What is your favorite IB subject?
IB subject. Film studies.
Biology.
So, how many hours do you sleep? Because we know that IB students may lack sleep due
Exam
to
time or in
deadlines.
general?
Both of
That's
them, tell
yeah,
both.
both.
Okay, if it's exam time, I believe that it would be around 6-7 hours.
It is pretty
in
good.
between that.
It is really
You don't
good.
sleep like that.
Honestly, I usually sleep a lot earlier in exam times. Normally, students just sleep less because like they try to memorize and learn their stuff again, like just prepare for the exam. But for me personally, sleep is a lot more important. But like at school time, it's a lot less. So like when it's school time, it's around 5 hours, 5.3 hours.
Also, since the start of the 11th grade, I'm always sleeping early. I am
get
always
tired a
sleeping.
lot.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
yes.
I really
And
get
you know,
tired.
like my sleep schedule is so not proper, because like I go home, directly sleep, and then
Yes.
until 2 o'clock I'm like up, and then I like sleep.
like Ali.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know why, but for me, it wasn't that late. I usually slept at around 1:30. That would be like my limit, and then my brain wouldn't work, so I would just say, I'll do it tomorrow, and that's why I usually struggle with the deadlines.
Especially in exam weeks. Do you remember our chemistry group in WhatsApp? Like everyone was
everybody was
panicking.
up until 2 or something last year.
like last year at the last exam, I was not sleeping until 2 a.m. and when I woke up at the morning, I was in my bed and I have my TI and my chemistry IB book next to me.
Honestly, I'm concerned
the
for
thing
you guys.
is, our school has these exam weeks in IB, so our exams that we do for this second diploma program really doesn't affect our actual IB grades. So, I really get stressful because I think our predicted grades are kind of based off those exams. But when I realize that in reality these exams are just like a practice, kind of like a mock exam, it kind of makes me feel more relieved
But
about it.
it also affects your GPA.
Yes.
What about that?
But so while applying to universities, I could select that I could either apply with my GPA or my IB score. So which one's better,
I
then
think
would
it's
probably
better
choose
to
that.
apply with IB score.
Yeah.
Totally.
For me, last year my exams were not good.
We do not talk about the exams.
So I think I'm going to choose my IB score.
Yeah,
So
okay.
the next question is group projects or solo projects?
So I don't like group projects.
We have a lot of group
Yes,
projects.
we do
this
a
year.
lot of group projects, and I don't like group projects.
Hmm.
Maybe it's because I'm an only child. That, But it's really about the group. If I have a good group that with people I love and people who
Like
I knew
us.
will like these guys over here.
I always select Ada.
I'm not sure if I like that.
No, I'm a really good group member. I work hard in groups.
I don't like it because when it's a group project, especially if like we're not being graded separately according to our work in the group, then usually people give it less efforts than I do, or like even sometimes I give less efforts than somebody else, then I feel bad as well. So I don't really like group work.
Personally,
You like group
I,
work?
I love group projects, even though I'm an only child as well. Like group activities, in my opinion, just you sharing the burden with everybody is like a lot more motivating since you're in the same situation as the other. So it kind of has like you're not alone, and that feeling of reassurance kind of motivates me to.
You can help
work.
each other.
Yeah, exactly. Like when you're like struggling with something, you don't need to ask for a favor from a friend, but actually like one of your, actually like a teammate. So you're just helping each other to improve your own grades. So it's like a lot easier to
Not
ask questions
everybody's
as well.
trying to improve right.
So,
But with Eda, when we did like the film shooting thing, they
Oh,
were so
yes, that
fun.
was so fun.
Eda was a good memory.
When?
Last
Lecture.
year.
yes,
Propaganda
in
one.
literature.
Movie.
Literature.
Yeah, for literature.
Oh, the
movie
literature
we
one.
made. Yeah, that was really fun.
Oh yes. So speaking of the films we made there,
This year
actually-
we are going to rate
Yes.
the 10th graders.
we're going to be the jury, and it's if I'm not wrong, actually, if we're going to be like creating the booths for them to have like snacks and everything, I think it was one of the cast projects because we
Yeah.
were going to plan like for a good while.
I
It
think
was
we
one
are
of the
going to
answers
do
that I
The
was
that
thing
like
we're
second
talking about
semester.
is that our school does kind of like this movie night for 10th graders, where 10th graders do a movie.
And
about-
11th
the
graders
book
are
that
going to
reads.
organize the night that we are going
Ours
to watch
was
the
about
movies.
Totalitarianism, yeah.
And like a book we
It's always
read
hard to say
in
that.
literature. Yeah.
Like a tongue
Okay,
twister.
so the final question. What made you choose IB, and what are your dreams or goals? Like
What are your
which
recommendations?
also, and which countries do you want to apply?
Like
just
after graduating IB, what's your plans?
yes, just
Well-
talk about that.
Egemen and I am so confused about
Yeah,
our
definitely.
plans in the future. But like the reason why I choose IB separately from like my plans in the future, it really broadens your perspective. It really helps you grow as a human being. Like, I sometimes look at the work, especially in literature, English, like the work I did beginning of like the 10th grade, the first year of IB. Like my work really has improved, and I can see that growth in me, which really makes me proud. And I don't think that would be possible without IB, because IB really pushes us to
Be more disciplined.
be more disciplined. And like when writing, I can now write like a 400 or like 600 words quick thing, like in just an hour, or maybe even less.
Like
that.
when we were
It doesn't even
graduating.
it doesn't even take me a moment to think. I could just start writing, which really makes me like proud of myself, because I think that was something I was struggling with.
When we were graduating, I feel like at least for like from this school, I feel like the words we choose, like not words we choose, but like the word count that we had was like always around 100 to 300. So I feel like getting from there to 400 to 800 now is like thanks to IB. I feel like it got us up to write more, to be a lot more
and like
disciplined,
not
as I
only
said.
writing something, but writing it in a way that like we do quality work.
Yes,
So yeah,
exactly.
that really makes me proud. Like
Productive.
I can now analyze a literature. Like for example, I always liked literature, and I always liked doing analysis. But now I can like look at it. Like I could connect grammar and the way that the author used it. So I think it's really an interesting concept. And IB is really challenging, and sometimes I
Totally.
regret choosing IB. But when I realized how I grew as a person and how it kind of helped me grow, it really makes me be fond of my decision.
Yeah, the fruits you get are like amazing.
Yeah.
Our last question, what are your recommendations to the people who will start to IB or who is studying in IB?
One advice we that while choosing your extended essay subject and topic, make sure that it's something that you're passionate about and that it truly interests you, because extended essay is like a really long project that you will always like work on it, try to improve it. So make sure that it's something that you like, because like mine was about Barbie and I like Barbie, but right now when I see Barbie I really want to puke because I'm so like overwhelmed with it. And my second advice would be that make sure that you manage your time good, because IB, yes, it's really challenging, but it's truly not impossible if you could manage your time well. And this is kind of like an advice that always the IB students, like one grade above us, was saying to us, and we never listened to it, but it's true. Like, it's really true.
Definitely.
Make sure that you have good manage your time well, and this is something that I'm still trying to improve.
Learning how to manage your time is going to impact your second year as well. Like, let's talk about, even before this, whether you should choose or not. Personally, like, I'm almost guaranteed that I can go to the country that I want to for studying. However, I believe that choosing IB, as we talked a lot about, Ada mentioned a lot of stuff, the fruits you get, the experience and everything is quite, if I'm not wrong, if I'm not mistaken, is quite similar to the workload of a university. So the experience you get here kind of prepares you for the university as well. Even if you didn't do that well at your exams overall, the experience you had in the IB diploma program just impacts you heavily on your university years, and it's going to be a lot easier.
And so thank you for having us.
Thank you for
great to be in this podcast. Make sure that you listen to the second episode as well.
Yes.
Our favorite people, Atakan and Ali, will be.
Some spoiler.
A
little
mini
spoiler.
spoiler.
Yes, stay tuned.
Thank you. Bye.